just that style of voice with it. I don't hate it like it doesn't fit way. I hate it because of how well it fits. Because it's just like, it just kind of creeps me out a little bit because of just like how like disturbingly positive it is, where it's just like, oh, Arthur, you just smell so good. Please just let me eat you. You just look so delicious. And I'm like, can we please stop? I enjoy this is better reading.
Yeah. Take me on a date or something. Damn.
Basically, and it's just like, I enjoyed reading this more because this is disturbing. What's up, everyone? Welcome into AniMan Plus episode 37. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day, whatever day you're watching or listening to this podcast. My name is Alex Light with Spark E3. Joining with me here, as always, the man who runs the cameras behind this operation, the man who has a very beautiful gold mine, my co-host here at AniMan Plus and my co-host at Lighthearted Gamers. That man has much better opinions than mine, and that is Zach. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and I'd like to restate, it's not a mine, it's a vault.
Okay.
A very specific vault.
Okay, my bad. All right.
But it's going good.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. And then joining with us over the phone, a man who is going to deliver the most powerful, inspirational speech you have ever heard in your life at the end of this show. A speech that's going to make you run through walls. A speech that's going to carry you through the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and the rest of your life. A man who is our One Piece expert on this show, but botched Law's backstory. A man who's going to have his own body pillow here in this studio. That man is Josh. Josh, how are you doing today?
Thanks for that introduction.
You're welcome.
That's the bar really high for everyone. I was doing well until that happened.
Don't be like that.
Now you just in a cold sweat, like, God, what am I going to do?
Hey, you got about, I don't know, an hour before I'm going to hit you with the speech, so you can figure something out.
Just listening to you do that, I'm just like, am I going to have to give a speech now?
You said the end of last episode you would.
No, I didn't.
Well, I said that, but that's why I put you in the spot here.
Oh,
well, we're going to follow back up with that here at the end of this episode, so stay tuned so Josh can give you a very powerful speech that's going to hopefully make me get out of this chair and run through a fucking wall. But anyway, for today's episode, though, we got some shit to talk about, okay? We have some JJK news that we got to address here and talk about. We do have some sales numbers for some Weekly Shonen Magazine volumes, and we also have first 3-day rankings for the June Weekly Shonen Jump volumes. A couple of surprises in there. We're going to definitely talk about that. And then Netflix dropped a lot of information that we're going to break down as well. So first and foremost, if you want to, we'd greatly appreciate it. Give us a follow over at our Twitter at AniMan Podcast. You can also go check out my other podcast, Lighthearted Gamers. Follow us on Twitter at LH Gamers Podcast. If you want to support us further, the Patreon is a great way to do so. Patreon.com/Sparky3. And as of today, we just wrapped up recording our other bonus cast, which is a Father's Day edition. So be on the lookout for that on Father's Day. That episode will go live. We're going to break down 10 different great fathers. We'll briefly shout out some shitty ones, but be on the lookout for that. Also be on the lookout for the Lighthearted Gamers Pokemon 25th special. We are set to record that here next week, I believe. It should have already been recorded and probably coming out soon. I had an emergency pop up. That's on me. So hopefully we're going to get that recorded here soon, and the Zelda 35th special will be around the corner as well. All right, so let's go ahead and just kick into the news here today. So the first little tidbit that we have is we did get a new key visual for the My Hero Academia movie World Heroes Mission. A couple little tidbits that I saw is that with how the couple of key visuals that we've seen up until now, with this one, we did get to see some more 1A members here on the poster, which was okay. So we're going to get more of Class 1A involved. I thought it was going to be kind of more focused on our main three and other pro heroes. You know, that's how I kind of perceived everything up until this point. So we are going to get some more 1As, which is not necessarily surprising. And it did look like at the bottom of the poster, we did get a shot of who our villain is going to be. So shout out to that. If you have not seen the poster yet, make sure to go check it out. Hopefully some more information on that movie will be coming out here in the near future. So then after that, the first of 2 hiatuses that we're going to talk about here today. This is a little brief one here for you. Quick shout out. Ace of the Diamond 2 will enter a 2-month hiatus, starting with Weekly Shonen magazine issue 29. It is set to return on issue 36-37 on August 4th. This apparently has been done before. The author has gone on a hiatus about this long before to help set up for the next like arc or whatever season, which after I read that, I read that he's done it before. I kind of thought about it. I'm like, kind of makes sense, kind of like a baseball off season, come back, kind of makes sense. But yeah, apparently he takes these kind of breaks with this series to help set up for the new season, because apparently him and his team actually do a lot of more research just in general, like on the sport and other aspects to help just further make Ace of the Diamond better, which Ace of the Diamond, of course, is one of the most notable sports mangas in history. So just be on the lookout for that if you are reading that weekly. It is about to begin that 2-month hiatus. One little piece of the multiple pieces of Netflix news. In hindsight, I now realize this should have been with everything else, just so it's all lumped together in one beautiful package. I was just copy pasting what Josh was sending in real time. But the first little tidbit we have here is the Netflix live action Cowboy Bebop series that is set to release this fall. It's going to have the same composer from the anime come and do the music here for this live action. Shout out to that. That's actually pretty exciting. Shout out to Zach having a Bebop display behind him.
I mean, I'm happy with that, because at least if this ends up being bad, I can just close my eyes and listen to the music.
Yeah, see, at least you got that going for you, if anything else, right?
Because they did like a cast, like I guess trailer where they played the opening over it, which you can close your eyes and be like, all right, this takes me back, and then look at it and be like
the original opening, Tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because that composers, and I guess that was their big introduction to the composer coming back and working on the live action series, was the
right. Oh, nice. It's always nice to see that sort of stuff when you have like a reboot of a series or of any capacity, and or a continuation, and the same kind of composer comes back, because there are some very notable composers out there that have just created some legendary music, and music really drives the scene. It drives the series. I don't think it's a tidbit that some people may ignore sometimes, but it's such an important thing for a series. So the fact that the original composer is coming back does give me some hope for Cowboy Bebop, the live action. So we'll see how it plays out. All right, so let's get some quick sales numbers for the end of May Weekly Shonen Magazine volume sales. Now, I do want to shout out first and foremost, there's like 4 more volumes that did come out this month. When it comes to Weekly Shonen Magazine, while we are still kind of getting more introduced to the magazine, reading more, we're pretty much at this time only shouting out like the more notable series, because the other ones that were listed, I have not heard of a single one of them. They don't even have English names. I have no idea how to pronounce them. I have no idea what they are. I've never seen them before in my life. So for a couple that are notable that we do know about here, coming in here at first is Blue Lock, which is the soccer manga, which is probably getting an anime right around the corner. It's very, very popular. Volume 14 sold 103K copies. Shout out to that. And then Eden Zero Volume 15 only sold 38K. As I've said before, when we've talked about Weekly Shonen Magazine sales, this is still new for us to start talking about. So I don't know what's necessarily good and bad for these. 103 is obviously pretty solid. I think we can agree to that. 38 is honestly not bad, but it's a question, is it bad or good with how normally Eden Zero does, for example. I did see the cover for it, and it seems to be like some of the training stuff. Zach, since you've read it, the training stuff that just went down not long ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd want that volume.
Yeah, so I can get why it did not sell as much based on the content of it, because it had like the Professor of Hermit, that stuff, the training afterwards, that was what this volume was focused on.
The main reason for most people to probably get that volume would either be just collection completion, or all the bondage that happens during that.
That's true, because there's a lot. Hero does not play with Eden Zero. No doubt about that. Now, hopping over to something that we do actually know a little bit more about, that's Weekly Shonen Jump, the June Weekly Shonen Jump volumes, the first 3-day rankings. This is actually a really loaded month. Okay, this is a month that we've kind of had our eye on, because it's another one of those JJK versus One Piece months, which are always entertaining to watch how it plays out. We have actually 10 volumes that came out this month, and some surprises here on as well. So first and foremost, foremost, JJK Volume 16 for its first 3 days stayed ranked 1 across the board. One Piece Volume 99 stayed ranked 2 across the board for all 3 days. Dr. Stone Volume 21 stayed ranked at number 5 across the board. Ayakashi Triangle Volume 4 started off at 9, then went to 11, and then took a little bit of a dip down to 55, but overall still not bad. Here's a shocker. When I saw this, I was shocked because me and Zach, we're reading this series weekly, and I guess we are the minority here, man, because we don't personally care for it. It does not resonate with us, but apparently there's a fandom for it. Witch Watch, a newer series that started not that long ago. Volume 1 came out, started off at number 15. That's really strong.
That's really good
for a Volume 1. It did take a dip to 49 and then took a bigger dip down to 102, but that initial start is really good. And then not to mention, they did actually have to order reprints. Reprints are already on the way. So that's really solid for Witch Watch, and hearing that they had to get reprints, I feel like can also explain the dips. If they would have had more copies on hand to begin with, we may not have seen that 15 to 49 dip.
I mean, it probably would have stayed close around like 60s, odds are.
Yeah, after day 3, yeah. So next up, we do have Sakamoto Days Volume 2, a series that Zach's a big fan of. Started off at 16. That's really good. That's very strong. This one did take some dips as well. I have not seen anything about reprints. I don't know if that's the case here, but it started off at 16, went down to 67, then went to 97th rank. High School Family Volume 2. This is still not good, mind you. Not good starting rankings, but it's a lot better
than others.
It's a lot better than others, and it's a lot better than Volume 1, because Volume 1 started off like in the 200s or 300s.
Yeah, Volume 1 was rough.
And I can't help but to think that this is Kubo's doing. Him coming out saying, oh yeah, I really like High School Family. Maybe got some people on board with it. I don't know. But Volume 2 started off at 102. Again, a lot better than last time with Volume 1. Took a dip down to 178 and then took a pretty big dip down to 276. Sorry. Next up, we have Magu-chan God of Destruction Volume 4. Started off at 53, went down to 119, then went down to 299. Build King Volume 2. This series is now dead, of course. Volume 2 started off at 102. I think it was 102, but that means that did it tie with High School Family? I didn't even notice that until now. No, it started off at 100. My fault. All right, so Build King started off at 100, and then it went down to 170, and then a big dip down to 325. This does give some easy indications why this was sliced.
Yep.
And then another new one. This is a series again that's in the same batch as Witch Watch, same batch as Elusive Samurai and ITIL C. We've already seen ITIL C Volume 1 sales. They did atrocious. This is another one that's not doing too good. Ball Parade, Nine Dragon Ball Parade Volume 1 started off at 136, went down to 242, and then 473.
This series is dead. There's no saving it at this point.
Yeah, especially with how the chapters have been. Like we just had the first game in this past chapter. Game was done in a chapter. It was just to wipe the floor with them. I mean, give another couple chapters, we'll be playing our antagonist, and it'll be done. This series is done. I gotta say, out of this batch, Witch Watch is definitely not the one that I thought was going to be living here. I got to be honest with you.
I mean, I felt that there was a chance it could. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice slice of life rom-com enough, but I mean, there's nothing that I can get attached to at this point in time.
Yeah, same. With that 4 series batch, you were talking high about, Elusive Samurai has late game potential. That does seem to be the case because it is getting really good. Mm-hmm. Josh started to read this one. ITIL C, I personally thought had phenomenal writing to start. Phenomenal writing. I got to say, it has dipped. It has dipped, which is disappointing because, man, I think Josh can agree. ITIL C had such a strong start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
ITIL C was really good. And, I do give up on things really quickly, mainly because I don't have time. But it does say a lot that ITIL C was one that I voluntarily was like, if I'm not going to make time for it, I'm not going to read it.
Right.
Because, I even make time for Mashal, and I hated that for forever. So if I'm not making time for ITIL C anymore, I can say it's not as good as it used to be, as it once was.
Yeah, literally the first, I'd say, 8 or 9 chapters were really, really solid content. So good, and then it just went downhill. So I gotta say, Witch Watch is not what I expected to come out on top when it comes to these.
Witch Watch was another one that I just kind of like, if I can't make time for it, I'm going to have to cut it. And, I didn't really feel bad about cutting it. I haven't felt, any need to go back to it. But seeing that it's actually doing decently out of, those 4, it's weird.
It is weird. Yeah, I got to tell you, it was probably my least favorite. I'd say Elusive Samurai was. Elusive Samurai.
No, you disliked Elusive Samurai a lot more than that.
Yeah. Elusive Samurai was definitely my least favorite, followed by probably Witch Watch. I would say ITLC was my favorite. Probably after that, I was getting on board with Nine Dragon. So, I mean, good to see Witch Watch is doing well. I guess it's not going anywhere for a while. We still have yet to see the sales for Elusive Samurai. That volume should be coming out next month in July.
Yep.
I'm very excited to see how that's doing because, with how it's become where you were saying it's like a late game type of series, you got to think that Jump thought the same thing, and that's why Jump has been delaying the volume, where it's just because that was the first one to come out of that batch, and now it's the last volume to come out. You gotta think that it's because Jump was just like, okay, this is not a great start, but we know it's got late game potential. They gave it the cover. The chapters have improved and improved and improved. So you got to think that it's because they're getting people reading it now, to kind of get people more on board with it. You know what I mean? Because the content's getting better.
The content's getting better because, as I've said it before, so I'll just be brief about it. Because the initial was, as I mentioned, it's in a slightly different setting than most series, at least people are used to. So it did have some unfortunate setup for or introducing the setting before actually getting into anything. So
yeah. So really excited to see how that one's going to do next month. I'm curious if he'll break top 10 for 3-day rankings, and looking forward to seeing all starting sales numbers for these June volumes. We should get the first batch, the first wave of sales numbers by the time we would go to record episode 38 next week. So look forward for that. Let's jump into some bigger stuff here. First and foremost, let's go ahead and hit it. Let's talk about JJK. I did mention it in the intro here that we got some JJK news, and I did make a little plug when I talked about Ace of Dime about hiatus. So if you have not heard by now, JJK, the manga, is going to be going on about a month hiatus. I do have some quotes here to go over, so I'll start off with a quote from Weekly Shonen Jump on this. To our readers, thank you for always reading Jujutsu Kaisen. Due to the poor physical condition of Akutami Gege, Jujutsu Kaisen will be absent for some time from the next issue onward. Akutami wanted to continue writing, but after several discussions with the editorial department, it has been decided that it's better for Akutami to take a break for a certain period of time. We determined it was the best decision for the mangaka to recover their physical condition. Jumping over from there, we do have a comment from the man himself. I've been asked by the editorial department to take a break from the series, but I don't want to slow down the weekly serialization of Jujutsu Kaisen since I'd like to draw it to the end of the series here as soon as possible. But just put a hold on my answer. However, I'm just not able to recover my schedule compared to other mangaka when they just take a single break. If nothing is done about this, the same thing will be repeated over and over again, so I decided to accept the proposal from the editorial department. The suspension period should only be about 1 month. Even if I say I'm sick, it's not any serious illness. My mental health is completely fine, so do not worry about it. I'm really sorry that I'll have to keep you waiting. Once I come back, I'll do my best with the serialization. And I got to say, it is very noticeable. Okay, if you're reading the manga weekly, it is very noticeable. Mm-hmm. There are, over these past like what 2 or 3 chapters, there are very clearly panels that were not finished.
Yes.
There are some people that may argue that's like, oh no, it's part of the scene. Okay, no, there is literally clearly panels that are not finished.
Yeah, no.
Very clearly.
Especially not this week's chapter, but the previous chapter. There was very clear panels that weren't finished. The first panel it showed that was slightly unfinished, I could have believed was part of it with what was going on, but the next one right after was like, no.
Yeah, because some people are just like, oh, it's just part of it. It's just part of it. Plus, it's kind of like a play on how JJK's art style normally is kind of rougher anyway. But no, it's very clearly not damn finished. There are still all of the character lines within the characters that normally get erased. So it's very noticeable. This is a lot of fans have gone on multiple rants about how this is like, a constantly going on a break, whatever, which, I mean, come on, let's not rant about that. Yes, we want our content, but let's not be completely entitled here. But I mean, it's gone on so many breaks. There's the unfinished, like, this is not surprising. And when it comes to this, I mean, it's disappointing as a fan, but at the same time, as fans, let's not be entitled about this, because we've seen it time and time again where there's just poor health situations with artists. And I feel like the recent passing of Kentaro really kind of put things in a different perspective for Weekly Shonen Jump, offering this proposal to them, because they don't want to come across a situation of overwork, especially when they have another situation on their hands, being is it Togashi, correct? Is it Togashi, the Hunter x Hunter creator?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. They have another situation on their hands of Togashi, who has such severe back issues that he can't stand, maybe at like a standing desk or sit to continue doing Hunter x Hunter like he would want to. So giving Weekly Shonen Jump, the editorial department, giving Akutami an opportunity to take a break, a lengthy break, to try to get recovered with his physical condition is a good thing. And one thing about this is that there are going to be, I'll say it, casual fans that are going to be like, what poor physical condition could these guys have? You guys need to understand the schedule that mangaka of a weekly magazine is into, where it's a multiple hours a day sitting at your desk. Sure, some may use a standing desk, but even still, it's gonna possibly going back and forth. Like, I know it just seems kind of to casuals, they just view it as a stupid thing, that how could you have poor physical condition to this? But I mean, it's easily possible, man, with the amount of drawing that you're having to do, plus setting consistently for that amount of time, working very long hours to meet that crunch. And, with this happening, with the ongoing issue of Togashi, and then the recent passing of Kentaro, the working condition of a mangaka is becoming more and more into the light. And obviously Kentaro is a big reason why now, because Kentaro's passing happened at a young age of 54, and then everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, let's think about Togashi as well. And now this happens, like, oh, okay, let's think about that. And we also have, I don't even know if I added part of the news. I don't think I did, but we also had something else. I think I had the script and the items for script stuff. Yeah, I did. We also have the Fire Force creator and Soul Eater creator as well. You know, he says that he isn't taking many breaks over on his side. Now that apparently seems to be more of on his end. You know, it may not necessarily, it's not because it's not being offered, but, you know, he's even got it said where, you know, if he would die, the series could go on for like another month or two, you know, because of how much he works ahead. And it's just those sort of working conditions that a mangaka puts himself through to get in these situations of poor health. So it's an unfortunate situation. Before I hand it off to you guys to get your thoughts on this, I do want to add one little positive tidbit. I did tweet about this as well. One thing that did make me happy is going through, you know, 2 different social platforms of Twitter and Facebook, multiple comments from multiple pages. I only saw one negative comment about this, which did make me happy, because with looking at, you know, this sort of news, whatever, you automatically go look at the comments to see what entitled assholes are bitching about this news instead of being a normal human being and supportive about this. I only saw one negative comment, and the comment was something along the lines of, you know, we really need to get healthier people to draw these series so we don't get stuck in these stupid situations. And I'm like, dude, this asshole right here, like, do you even hear yourself? But on the plus side, only one negative comment. That I was happy to see that. But now passing off to you guys, what are your initial thoughts on this situation that's transpired here with the JJK going on this month break?
I mean, my thought process is fairly simple. I mean, it's unfortunately that Gigi's having to take this break, but I mean, I'm not really surprised because, as you said, there's been multiple times where he's taken extra breaks, so it's been noticed that he has been having some health, and he needs to take a break. He needs to take a break because, as you were saying, we're having all these things pop up with other mangaka. I mean, yes, I enjoy the content, but I don't enjoy it enough where a person needs to risk their health and possibly die over their drawing desk just to put something out.
True.
So I see no reason why to be angry with this. It's just a normal thing. If a person's sick, they need to get better.
Yeah,
we'll get the content when we get it. Yeah.
Yep. What about you, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like you guys said, it going on break every couple weeks, the last couple chapters, not being quite finished, it is apparent that, you probably need to take a break. And I, can totally understand that he didn't want to. But at a certain point, you got to put your health before anything else. And I'm glad that he is taking that break. I know, in the past, One Piece is kind of been like this, taking really long breaks before Oda, was just like, all right, well, I'll take a month off and, see where we get to. Because One Piece has been, pretty notorious for having not completely finished chapters that, do get finished when the volumes come out. But when the chapters first drop, they're not entirely finished. Yeah. These guys, they put a lot of themselves, because not only are they drawing it, they're writing it as well. So they're spending, all their time, writing it out, storyboarding it, then drawing it and getting it out and trying to hit the deadline for it to be due, the next week. And, it's really cool when, other creators get together to kind of help each other out. I know Oda and Hirokoshi hang out a lot, and they go on long walks and play Pokemon Go and stuff, just to get themselves physically active and mentally
out of the
there.
office.
Yeah. And so it's really cool when stuff like that happens. And, hopefully, because I know Hirokoshi and Akutami, they have been hanging out recently. So hopefully they get something like that where maybe they don't have to go on, so many breaks, because they are out getting active, physically active, mentally, and not, just sitting in a room, doing this for hours on end.
Right. And a couple more things here that I would like to see, and one of these is one of these two things I want you guys' thoughts on, because I came across this, and I think it's such a fascinating topic. But the first thing that I would like to see out of this situation is, I know not long ago, I think it was mid last year or so, as far as I remember, it was Weekly Shonen Jump that did this. It was not him going out of his way to take care of it. Weekly Shonen Jump gave, Yuki Tabata, Black Clover mangaka, a whole new studio. He's got a larger team, everything along those lines. I don't know how large Akutami's team is. If he's open, he may be, obviously there are some artists that are very stubborn, like Togashi wants to do everything himself. I get that. But, maybe if Akutami doesn't have a huge team, maybe his team can get expanded to help reduce some of the work on him. That's the first thing that I would like to potentially see out of this, if possible. But the other thing that I want you guys' thoughts on, because I think this thought process is so fascinating. I think it's a phenomenal idea for every creator that's currently in Weekly Shonen Jump and could potentially come in Weekly Shonen Jump in the future. What do you guys think of the idea of, with this situation, the Togashi situation they've faced in the past, other just news, sources out there that's happened to other creators? What do you guys think of the possibility of Weekly Shonen Jump one day splitting up their Weekly Shonen Jump lineup, where one week you get this batch, the next week you get another batch of chapters? They're all considered part of the Weekly Shonen Jump lineup, but it's going to be bi-weekly for certain series, and it's going to just keep rotating, where one week we get One Piece, JJK, Witch Watch, Sakamoto Days, blah, blah, blah. The next week you'll get Black Clover, My Hero, Dr. Stone, Mashal, whatever. What do you guys think of that sort of possibility? Do you guys think Weekly Shonen Jump will ever go that route? Or you think it's a good idea, bad idea? I think it's a good idea. First, my thoughts on it. I think it's a good idea because, one, it will give other smaller series possibly a better chance to shine, where we won't get a situation like Phantom Seer being axed. When it was decent content, it sold really well, had a fan base behind it. Also gives the creators more of a chance to breathe a little bit, help prioritize the health of these creators that are making them so much money. So what are you guys' thoughts on that potential situation?
I mean, it's a possibility. With all these things that have been happening with health issues and Kentaro's unfortunate death, things like that, if it continues being an issue, I could see Weekly Shonen Jump maybe pushing that, but you'd also have to think it would be nice for the artists and whatnot, but the unfortunate thing that I have to think about also is just the flow change, which the editorial and everything would have to do a whole overhaul of changing stuff, which I don't know how hard or easy that is, since I don't know anything about it. But I feel like there would have to be a change in just how the process and everything is done. So, it'd be nice for the artists and authors for doing that. It would definitely be nice for them, but just looking at it on the other end of it, of the editorial department, there may be some hangups and things like that that would not necessarily allow that immediately, or if it would be a possible over a long bit of time to actually transition into that.
Right. Okay. I can see your point there for sure. What about you, Josh?
As nice as it sounds, like, in theory, like, oh yeah, 1 week being one thing, the next week being one thing. I agree with Zach. There's a lot of things that would impact, let's say volume sales, for example, because obviously we're not getting, let's say 3 chapters a month if something takes a break. So volume sales are going to have to be pushed back, and like schedules, rotated. Anime as well. Let's say like One Piece, for example, is probably one of the only ongoing animes right now. So let's say One Piece goes to 2 chapters a month, the anime is going to do a whole hell of a lot more filler. But at the same time as that, Jump is very, very, they'll work with you from what I can understand, because
especially as of recently.
Yeah. And because outside of Weekly Shonen Jump, they also have Jump Plus. True. And I mean, basically they'll give anybody whatever schedule they want to on Jump Plus. And, more or less, I feel like, if it gets to that kind of point, I feel like they would make the sacrifice to move some bigger series over to Jump Plus to have an easier schedule.
Fair.
Is just my opinion. I don't think that, them switching it up, because then it would also affect, weekly sales. Because let's say they split it half and half. Well, what if the issue that comes out next Sunday isn't really anything that's selling and people aren't picking it up? But then the one with like Black Clover, One Piece, My Hero, whatever, if that one comes out, that one's getting sold. And see, that's kind of where it would hit too, is sales numbers. It's like, okay, well, we'd have to cut all these series in because they're not selling.
Right.
Because there's no point in putting resources towards it.
Depending on if they ever went this route, depending on how they broke it up, will depend on how well the sales do. That's what it's going to come down to. Like, realistically speaking, they would keep One Piece and JJK separate, being their two of their top sellers, just to help push the sales. So just depending on how they break it up will depend on how it would sell if they ever went this route. As a fan, it's just like, you're getting less content of like one series that you love, whatever, and that sucks. But at the end of the day, we want to prioritize the health for the creators. But, whatever Jump's going to do to help prioritize their health, it's ultimately how they're going to handle it, whether it just be letting them take more breaks or maybe splitting it up like this at some point. I don't know. It was a topic that I came across on Twitter. I just thought was really fascinating. I think it's a good idea if they can work it out. Because I do agree with you. Yeah. There are probably a lot of hangups in the editorial department that will have to be worked through. But if they can work it out, I personally think it's a great idea. I really do.
Yeah, I just think Jump Plus would be, if it ever came to something like that, Jump Plus is what it'd be moved to, where basically they could make their own schedules. Yeah.
No, very, very true. Very true. Jump Plus is, man, give it a little bit more time. That's going to be the future, no doubt. I mean,
easily.
Yeah, Spy Family, banger. Kaiju number 8, banger. And this is also not in terms of content, but I'm talking sales. Yeah, that's what I'm referencing right now. Chainsaw Man Part 2 is on the way. We have My Hero Vigilante. I mean, we've got some good stuff going over in Jump Plus. Like and even I haven't picked it back up yet, but even Deranged Detective, that did really well in sales. Jump Plus is the future, man. Just give it some more time, give it some more, some series. Maybe this what's it called? Chojin X? Is that what it? Give it Chojin X. Maybe whenever that ends up coming out again, maybe that's going to be phenomenal as well. Jump Plus is going to be the future, man. I'm really excited for what's going to continue out of Jump Plus, because we did just talk about like the last week we have 2 new series coming to Jump Plus in July, so looking forward to that. All right, so hopping over from there, let's talk about some Netflix stuff. We do have I do have one little tidbit here. Fullmetal Alchemist is apparently announcing a new project on July 12th, as well as getting the cover of the Shonen Gangan. Is that how you pronounce it? Gangan?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. For the 20th anniversary. New project. Wonder what that is. I know we just got recently the announcement of like what the new light novel with Winry. That's going to be coming out this year. But new project from Fullmetal. I wonder what that could potentially be. Is it going to just be a sequel? I mean, if it is, cool. I mean, our protag can't use alchemy, so I guess it's going to focus on someone else, maybe? Focus on a whole new cast of characters?
New theme park.
Maybe something before. Maybe something before the series started.
Yep.
It also said that there would be a very important message from the author in that issue as well from Full Metal. So a lot of news going on for its 20th anniversary. Pretty hype.
Well, I got to say, I am very excited for this. I am a massive Fullmetal Alchemist fan. It is one of the single greatest stories that I've ever read or watched in AniMan manga, hands down. I love how the story is all pieced together. So I'm very excited to see what's going to come out of this on July 12th. I'm ready to talk about it here on the show. Whatever it's going to be, I'm going to be here for it. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm here for it.
Except unless it's an escape room.
Unless it's what?
An escape room.
Escape room.
No,
remember
like that big Hunter news.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let me also. It's not anything's gonna be cool because watch the new project be. Hey guys, the second live action movie's on the way, but from Netflix. With that, let's talk about Netflix. So Netflix did announce a new Gundam anime. It's also confirmed some release dates for some other animes that are set to come out this year that we knew was on the way, like Shaman King that Zach and I dropped because it's honestly just not that great. If we're gonna be completely real, August 9th is gonna be the release of Shaman King. Eden Zero, that is one that Zach and I was watching, a big fan of that one. August 26th, I gotta say those are coming out a lot sooner than I thought they would.
Yeah,
I gotta say that first and foremost.
And I kind of want to throw out while we're still sitting on Eden Zero is still currently going.
Yep.
So is Shaman King.
And and they're coming out within 2 months. In the next 2 months they'll be on Netflix, which how is Netflix going to release them? Because I assume they wouldn't. The series wouldn't be over yet, right?
Shaman King, no. Shaman King is confirmed for 52 episodes.
Not. I mean, maybe this is because we've talked before about how Netflix has heard the anime community, that they're going to re-look at how their release schedule is. So this may be their push to maybe start releasing in batches of smaller or episode per episode rather than just the entire season like they usually do and they're known for.
Yeah, and Josh, I gotta thank you. I gotta give you my utmost thanks. I did not even fucking think about that with when they're coming out that both of these would still be ongoing. So thank you for bringing that up because that does bring up a great point. Or is this going to start being a one episode at a time thing, or is it going to be in batches, or what?
Kind of like how Pokemon is released in batches.
Right.
They'll do 12 episodes every couple months.
What would you guys prefer happen here? Do you guys hope that this will maybe be the start of them releasing anime they acquire at the same time it comes out in Japan as a weekly thing, or do you want them to do like what Josh said with Pokemon is doing in batches?
I mean, I feel for Netflix batches is better for them if they do release it episode per episode. I mean, okay, it's but I feel like for Netflix's formula, releasing in batches a lot more because a lot of people use Netflix as a binge rather than just oh, well, let me just go watch this to catch up for the week.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what it's going to be come, most notably August 9th, because the other announcement we have was the Godzilla Singular Point. I don't think that's coming. That's not coming out in Japan or anything? I have no idea.
That's a worldwide release. It's like Chainsaw Man. It's going to be worldwide.
Okay. So very excited to see August 9th. Let's see what they do with Shaman King. Very excited to see what's going to happen there. If it's going to be X amount of episodes, like 12 episodes, because like we said, that one will still 100% be ongoing, because that's not ending till sometime next year.
Yeah.
So very curious to see what's going to happen there. They also announced a bright anime movie called Samurai Soul and 2 new series called Make My Day and Exception. Here's a couple of more things that they announced also.
Exception's going to be, if I remember, it's a horror anime, and the most notable thing about it is the character designer from Final Fantasy is working on it. Make My Day is, I believe, a movie about an ice planet where monsters are coming out of this hole or something like that. And Samurai Soul is, I don't know if you guys know the Netflix movie Bright, where humans and orcs live together.
Oh, is it going to be part of that series?
It is part of that series.
Oh, God.
An anime movie about that. The picture they released is a samurai and an orc. So, yeah.
You just described Make My Day, and all I could think was the old Xbox game Lost Planet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot Lost. You just unlocked a core memory for me. I forgot that was a damn game series.
I mean, the series has been, the IP's been dead for a little while, but I mean, it
Yeah.
was a fun series when it was coming out.
Yeah, I played. I think I only played the first one way back when. Forgot all about that. And here on, we actually just looked it up before we started the show. We have the Mappa 10th anniversary coming up on June 27th, which we should get the first look at Chainsaw Man, which of course, like Josh mentioned, is going to be Netflix only. So very curious to see a release date on that coming up here this month in June. We should have Record of Ragnarok start coming out on Netflix. Very curious again to see what they're going to do with that one. I know it's a worldwide release. It's not like it's going on in Japan right now, but are they going to maybe start doing that weekly, or is they just going to release every episode, or what's it going to be? I don't know. We'll see.
Now Netflix does release things weekly. I do know that for a fact. They have weekly shows. So
Is it all originals?
100% possible they could. I believe, all their originals. Some of them they do release weekly. Some of them they just release the whole series. So it is highly possible they could start releasing some of this anime weekly, like this worldwide release, like Chainsaw Man and Record of Ragnarok. They could possibly be weekly, where I think like Eden Zero and Shaman King most definitely would be batches.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good tidbit. I did not know they had any series that release stuff weekly, because I'm one of 6 people in the world that does not have Netflix. So that's good information to have. I am really excited for Record of Ragnarok, though. We do not have a release date even still. It's June 10th when we're recording this, and there's still no release date other than June. So we'll see. Either way, I'm looking forward to checking out. But again, I guess we'll see when that comes out, if it's going to be a bunch of episodes, a single episode, what. And then again, August 9th, circle your calendars there to see if Shaman King is going to get dropped in one big batch or a single episode. So, all right, so that's all the news. We actually had a lot of news today. We're 40 minutes in, and we're just finishing up the news.
Woohoo!
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a lot of talk about today, man. It was.
So, Josh,
real.
you got a little bit extra time on your whole speech. I hope you're writing it down.
Yeah,
I have been. I've been
good.
I've been writing it.
Good, because I'm about to throw it at you here in a little bit. I want to jump out of my seat. Okay, you better give me the best speech ever. All right,
well.
Let's hop over to the actual anime talks for the week. We are winding down for a couple of these series. We're about to lose 86 here in the next couple weeks, and Seven Deadly Sins is about to get lost in the next couple weeks as well. But let's kick things off with My Hero Academia, Season 5, Episode 11. What did you guys think about this episode?
It played well. I mean, it was very enjoyable. Finishing up our last match of the Class A versus Class B.
Yep.
After our whole incident with Deku, and then him getting to show his moment of, I can't understand this, but not for long.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can understand this.
Yeah, I can understand it just a little bit, but not too much. We got to see some more dynamic between Shinzo and Azawa. When because he basically called it out. It's like, I know this was actually like my promotion exam, whatever. Kind of just figured, kind of makes sense. We got to see the little critiquing thing where Eraserhead Flower he's like, what's wrong with you?
What's happened to you, Midoriya?
I love that part. She's like, what is wrong with you? What happened? So I mean, it was a nice wrap up to that match. I saw on Twitter that a couple of My Hero accounts and stuff is making a big deal about the next episode being the 100th episode of My Hero Academia,
which it's unfortunate it's the 100th episode because of what.
Yep, the content.
It's very unfortunate. I mean, the best other thing that I'd like to mention was when Midnight was commentating, Jiro's sign behind her.
Yes. I love the sign where it's just like, oh, she actually wants fair commentary. Loved that. Yeah. That was funny. But yeah, the next episode. I mean, I like what the next episode's gonna be personally. Because I mean, one, you get some more. This is, if I remember correctly, especially from the preview and just from general remembering here, this is the episode where we maybe get a little bit more like backstory on One for All. Am I off on that, or is that later? I think that's the next episode.
It should be this next episode.
Okay, because I remember from the preview the shot that it had Deku and Bakugo both sitting there, which I remember that chapter. That's when All Might got out like a book of every information that he could find, whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. That was a good chapter for me when I read it. I enjoy that sort of content chapters, but I mean, it was a good episode, just wrapping up the fight. The matches are all now come to a close, and now I've started seeing some promotion for the next big arc, which is My Villain Academia, which hopefully I really hope that the anime is going to knock it out of the park, because as all three of us can agree, sucked reading it weekly. That drug on way too long.
But I think they'll do it good. I just want to say one of my takeaways from this episode, and you guys kind of alluded to some of this stuff when we recorded the bonus cast, about how things never ever came back around, like Deku's dad or the spy in the school, in this episode's case, Shinso, did he pass? Did he fail? Is he in the hero class now?
We'll never know.
It's been like 3 years since this originally came out in the manga, and I still have no clue.
I don't know what to say here. I do know something. I do know a little tidbit of information.
I mean, leave it. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, don't say anything. I just don't remember anything. But
it's not in the manga. It's not in the manga.
Oh,
not in the manga. It's just potentially going to be in the manga. It's a rumor. That's all it is. It's a rumor that could be a spoiler.
All right, the spoiler, the rumor spoiler king.
Yeah. Should I say the rumor?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's up to you. Well, you can say it off the call.
Okay, that's fine. I want to try to leave some surprise to the manga readers and the anime viewers, because I will say this rumor was a very low key one. Like like how I found it was not because it's all over a bunch of news sources. It was very low key. But all right, so let's just move on from that. Let's talk about One Piece 977. Josh, is One Piece phenomenal? Is One Piece everything that you can hope and dream for? Was this a phenomenal way for you to spend 25 minutes of your day watching this? Was it just everything you could hope and dream for?
Much more than last week.
Okay,
much more than last week. Good. Yes. This is starting the raid on Onigashima. The 9 Red Scabbards, are heading over there. Kinemon's basically, on the ground, begging for someone to answer him. Nobody's there. They think everyone's been killed. They abandoned them. They're like, well, we're not going to wait, because if we have to wait, it's going to be another year. And by that time, we're all going to get found out anyway. So we might as well just go for it now, because there's only 9 of us. And we can sneak in without anybody knowing and have a sword to Kaido's throat before he even knows it. So they get off on the boat, start heading that way, and they start talking amongst themselves and, talking about a spy. How, it's really weird that they knew about this. And then, flashback to when Odin was going to go attack Kaido, and when they realized, like, they're here, like, really fast. How did they know that something's up? And they all start talking about how there must be a spy in their midst. And Kinemon's like, I don't care. If there is a spy, they must have had a really good reason. They must have, had someone been kidnapped or something like that. I'm not gonna hate someone because they were a spy. And, this was a huge moment in the manga. It was really good in the anime as well, where Shinjoro reveals himself to have been the spy all along, and that for the last 20, 30 years, he has been feeding information to Orochi and Kaido, any chance he could get, and letting them know about Odin's attack on Kaido, about everything that's been going on in Wano in this arc. It was all Kanjuro to begin with, and then Kanjuro, Kinemon's just like, how could you do this? And he's like, well, Kanjuro never existed, because that's not my name. My name's Orochi Kanjuro, or Kanjuro. Yeah, Steve.
Jonathan?
Well, his name, at the end of the day, his name's still Kanjuro, but I don't know why he was like, Kanjuro has never existed. Because he's like, it's Kazumi Kanjuro, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. It's still your name. But it's just a really good episode. And, as they all like think they're going to die at the hands of the Animal Kingdom or Beast Pirates, whichever camp you fall in and what they're being called, the ships start getting hit from the side. And it's like, who did that? And you just see the Thousand Sunny like coming in from the side. And you hear Nami like, I can't believe you guys are sleeping through all this. And, pans down to Zoro and Luffy just like taking a nap on the boat in the middle of the storm. through all the cannon fire, and then it shoots back to the boat with the samurai, and it's leaking, and they're like, oh no, the boat's sinking, we're gonna drown. And then you just see a lost ship come up out of the water, and Salem Law's like, what are you guys doing out here in that boat in the middle of a storm? Are you dumb or something? And then off to the side, like, Kid comes in. Oh man, it was like the most hype moment of this episode when you get all three of them together.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. Was this that shot from the manga? Yeah. I remember you sending me the end of that chapter, and you're like, "This is so hype," and I haven't got there yet, or I haven't started reading it. And I'm like, that's cool. Whatever. I mean, I don't know the context, but that'd be cool. So are we at that point now?
Yes, it is so hype. That's exactly what it ended on, was that shot of the three of them, Luffy, Law, and Kid, and just like getting them all together. Oh man, after all this Odin backstory.
Right.
It's so good. It ended on such a hype moment.
Gotcha, because this is the line where Luffy's like, if you're going to battle out in the sea, you're going to battle against pirates or whatever it was. Something along those lines.
Yeah, they're all just arguing on who's going to kill Kaido first. I was like, Jaggy, I can't believe you're going to I didn't think you were going to come. He's like, well, I'm the one that's going to kill Kaido. And I was like, nah, it's going to be me. And it's so good. Such a good ending to the episode.
Right on. I may have to actually hop in now. I know I've said that off and on.
You say that all the time.
I know, but I've also been saying
You're gonna watch Dragon Quest episode 3.
Shut the fuck up. First off. Second off, I've been saying that I'm gonna probably hop into One Piece when all the good shit starts happening, and it seems we're here.
Yeah.
I will say, if I do hop into it, it's probably going to be like a skip or a miss, depending on what I'm going to watch. Because like reading through it, I feel like Josh can agree with me. There are definitely some chapters that are just like both of us didn't have a ton of interest, but there's others that are like super hype. I feel like that's accurate to say.
Yeah.
Fuck you for that, though. By the way, Zach.
I don't know what you want to say. You say it so often. I mean, I can only hope one day.
I already told you that I was admitting defeat on that. I just haven't taken it out of the queue in case I change my mind.
In all fairness, every week when I talk about One Piece, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hop into that next episode. But no, if you're gonna watch it, now is the time, because I think we're at the point now where every episode from here on out is gonna be really good, because every part from here on out in the manga has been, really good. Yeah, there's been some hit or misses, but I think the anime might
do it better.
Might make it a little better. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well, hopping over from there, what about Dragon Quest episode 35?
This is the series that will never die.
Sure. We have no confirmed ending on this series.
No, not in the slightest. And from everything I'm seeing, it's not going to die anytime soon. But as for this episode, we continue the martial arts tournament, and where Mam has reappeared. And we start off with the point of where it ended, of Mam going, I'm not going to help you kill your father. Them explaining, we don't want to kill him. We just want to defeat him. We don't want to kill him, just beat him up. She's like, oh, okay, I'll get the sword for you. Not a problem. As long as you're not going to kill him.
Makes sense.
Continues the martial arts tournament. Our little karate rat gets his ass whooped because he's a short, chubby, fat rat, so his arms can't reach anybody. Yep. And he has a very distinct weakness to it. He's offended anytime someone mentions it. Continues the tournament. We get our top 8, and turns out this was all a trap. The king's an idiot. He was suggested this by this advisor guy, who turns out to be the son of Zaburo, who was the commander of the Mystic Legion of the Dark Army. This is his son, who's now captured these 8 fighters, because they're strong fighters, to make them the samples to make the next generals of the Dark Army, because he has some research, the super specimen research, which it's gene theory is what he's doing.
Okay.
So he's taking strong beings and monsters and pretty much just gene splicing. Him and Dai fight. Dai throws him around, and the fight, and the entire time Pop's going, this doesn't make sense. Why is he just taking it? And like, Dai, don't exhaust yourself. He's got an ace up his sleeve. Lo and behold, Pop's right guy has an ace up his sleeve. He's just like, you're curious why you can't kill a Darkling? Because I've used the research on myself, and transforms into this big chimera thing with a bunch of monster pieces. of himself, and the other 8 fighters are useless because they're trapped in a bio cage this entire time. So as it stands, I'm still claiming my Mam's fucking useless.
So nothing's changed.
No, not a single bit.
Got it. Nothing has changed at all. Okay, that's good to know. What about Tokyo Avengers episode 9, Battle of 8-3? It's going down. We got the entrance that you were a huge fan of when we did our top entrances and introductions.
I love that entrance just because this is the first moment you actually get to see all of the players of Toman.
Yeah.
And just, I loved how in the anime they used the extra time and showed off all our main characters.
Right.
Though people who haven't read the manga do not know it, all the people it featured have some sort of importance later down the line.
Yep.
Especially, I love seeing Baji be a badass.
True.
Just Baji being Baji of... he was the only one who was just like, oh, there's a car here. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the battle has now gone down. Takemichi was doing everything that he can to try to, 1, prevent this, and 2, to try to save Draken. And the battle has now started. It's a huge, basically a war between the two, Mobius, right?
Yeah.
And Toman going at it. And the episode obviously ends with Takemichi once again failing at what he's trying to do, no matter what it is. And you see Draken, just in a pool of blood at the end of the episode. But I mean, it was a dope episode, like you said, getting to see each of the members of Toman kind of have like an introduction, and for a couple of them, kind of a moment, which was nice to see. But what Josh, what was your thoughts on this episode?
I really enjoyed the episode. Like, it was good content. And it was really cool just to see everyone just kind of pop up, and Mikey's introduction to it was really good too.
Yeah, I really like his just because they just faintly hear that engine, and I love how these guys just know how each other's exhaust sounds.
Yeah. Right.
They're just like, that's Mikey CB2, and he just slides in, and just everyone's like, shit.
Also, I want to point something out because this is what I thought when I was watching that. I didn't think about it when I read it. Really, I would probably think Mikey should be dead.
Most definitely.
He got up to 120 and it's pouring. This dude should be dead. There's no. There's no
reason his bike should have stopped the way it did. That bike should have kept going, and he should have hopped off or gone with it.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey should be dead. Let me go ahead and just say that. This makes no sense. I know it's anime, but this makes no sense. He should be dead. Dead. It showed twice that he got up to 100, 120, pouring ass rain on a bike. No, bro.
With no sort of protection on whatsoever.
Exactly.
He was wearing sandals when he stopped that bike. That sandal should have been gone and his foot should have been mangled.
Yeah, this makes no sense, man. It's completely ridiculous.
I mean, one of the other shots I really liked was when Chitsuya and Takemichi found Draken. Just that road of bodies leading up to Draken.
Yeah. That love that moment too. That's just a real badass moment there for sure. What about 86, episode 9? The series is coming to a close. We only got 2 more. We only got 2 more episodes left. Really depressed about that. I really love this series so much. This
episode was really good. Just the whole confrontation between our spearhead group and the Prophet Shin,
the Legion.
Shepherd Shin.
So good.
And just that whole entire fight and everything was just done so well, especially when really Major Waifu came in.
Yeah, that's true. Dropping all the artillery. Yeah. My only complaint about this episode was whenever Shin wakes up and started the fight again, we had a really awesome track playing right then and there for that moment, but it's just it lasted no time. It was 15 seconds and it just ends. That's my only complaint with the episode. But man, just beginning to end, just a dope episode. The entire first half was so good. It was so cool seeing the last remaining 5 go at it versus this huge army. Shin basically going up and doing a lot of it himself while the others stand back and help out from a distance. There comes in the artillery strikes, and Shin was able to get the closure of the situation with his brother, now managing to kill his brother, which his brain was taken by the Legion to create this shepherd, and had a very emotional moment where he just kind of breaks down And then we have I always draw a blank on his name, but the green haired dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. tells Lena, not Major Waifu, Lena, to turn off the para raid, because Shin probably wouldn't want to have anyone hear him like that. But it was a good episode in terms of just the epic fighting, the epic battle we had go down, the closure with Shin and his brother. And then the end of the episode really left things on, like what's next, because they're leaving. They're just like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And she obviously doesn't want to lose them.
Yeah, that end really got me, because I know in like some of the episodes there's like stuff after the credits. So like I watched through all the credits just like see if there's anything left, because I was so curious as to what was happening, because they're all like just like talking about what they were gonna do and like saying their goodbyes and stuff, and she was like, no. I was like, oh man. So I'm really excited for the next episode to actually see what's going on now.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know in full detail where this series goes. I've kind of looked at a few things. Like, I know a couple of base aspects. Like I know the stuff with like Shin and Lena where they do continue to get closer. So I am curious to see where these next two episodes go. Like is Lena going to leave the city, leave the Republic and go find them? Are they going to come pick her up or something? Like I'm just curious if that's going to potentially happen. I'm really excited for these next two episodes, and I'm also really sad this one's coming to a close, and I'm just looking forward to getting season 2 whenever that's going to be. What about To Your Eternity, episode 9? What did you think about this one, Zach?
I mean, it was good. It was very enjoyable. Just the growing dynamic between Fushi, Gugu, and Rena.
Yeah, Rena or Ren.
Ren, yeah. And just seeing the dynamic of those three, and just Rena and Gugu getting closer, even though they had their sort of weird relationship of he admired her from afar, and now they're sort of going closer as a group, which it's made reference to in one of the preview episodes of Fushi's found siblings in these two, and just seeing their interaction of when she was being picked up to be taken away, and Gugu just going, nah, takes out the dude's knee,
yeah,
and just like, run. So, I mean, I very much enjoy their dynamic, and just going forward with the next episode, what we got towards the end of the weird enemy thing attacking Fushi in the woods.
Yeah, that thing is back. I'm pumped for next episode, because I mean that episode where it attacked Fushi the first time, that was a badass episode.
Yeah.
And I'm really pumped for this one because now Gugu's involved, and we did get a little bit of a tease.
We got to show he's gonna breathe fire.
Yeah, he's
becoming that salamander badass we keep seeing.
Yeah, he's about to breathe fire on this thing. So I'm really pumped up for that, man. To Your Eternity, man, it's a great series. Josh, you need to pick it back up outside of 5 minutes. You know, you get that at some point.
Yeah, and maybe I'll watch another 5 minutes tomorrow, and in 6 years.
Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day. No, it was a dope episode though, and I'm more pumped. I'm so pumped for 10 to see how this fight's gonna go down, and I hope we get to find out soon more about whatever this is, because when it was first introduced, it wasn't like fully explained what this is. Just that
it was just stated that it's a thing that's trying to fight against Fushi and the god that just threw Fushi on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very curious to learn more about this, and shout out to the fact that he appeared this episode as well.
Yes,
shout out to that, and Fushi just like threw the fruit at him.
Yeah,
that was funny. What about Eden Zero, episode 9? How you feeling on this one?
I mean, it was a good episode. It
was all right.
We're getting our introduction to what's exactly going on, all the B-cubers being kidnapped, getting a hero bondage moment, and Rebecca just going, oh, this would be great videos, but it'd be inappropriate, tag, dang it.
Yeah, exactly. Serious bondage in this episode for sure, which has become one of Hero's specialties in Eden Zero. The end of this episode, we got introduced to another one of the 4 Shining Stars, sister, ended the episode. Mm-hmm. We did get introduced to Homura, Is that how you pronounce her name?
That's how I pronounce it.
All right, Homura. We did get introduced to her in this episode, who becomes a part of the group, key character. You did get a little bit of a tease of something to come with her, where she showed her ether gear, which was kind of shocked, just like that ether gear.
Yeah, sister specifically mentions like that style of ether is blank.
Yeah, kind of left it open ended. Something's going to come out of that. We'll see more in the future. But I mean, it was a good episode though. The only issue right now with Eden Zero is that this is still like that, just that early build up content.
Yeah.
So it's not like over the top or anything. I mean, it's going to just continue to rise and just get better and better, especially once we get into Draken.
People are just going to be really excited considering the next episode's called The Nude Escape.
Yes. A lot of people are going to be a fan of that one. But I mean, it's just going to keep on getting better. I mean, Eden Zero, it just ramps up here not long. So it's going to get pretty exciting. Next up, Seven Deadly Sins, Season 4, Episode 22. This is winding down, coming to a close. I think it was confirmed for 24, I think was it. So I have 2 more episodes left. I mean, like I said last time, we're in that little short arc that doesn't feel like it belonged. It feels like you could have really just ended the series on a really beautiful high note of after they defeat the Demon King. So now we just got like this little extra arc involving chaos as it's being called and set up, and got the little Kath that followed around Arthur in the previous season. That's basically our antagonist here, and I gotta say I hate the voice actors for it. Not saying it's a bad voice. I'm just saying like just that style of voice with it. I don't hate it like it doesn't fit way. I hate it because of how well it fits. Because it's just like it just kind of creeps me out a little bit because of just like how like disturbingly positive it is, where it's just like, oh, Arthur, you just smell so good. Please just let me eat you. You just look so delicious. And I'm like, can we please stop? I enjoy this is better reading.
Yeah. Take me on a date or something. Damn.
Basically, and it's just like I enjoyed reading this more because this is disturbing. But in a good way. I'm not saying in a bad way. It's in a good way. But we're at that point, and it further also dives more into like Merlin's plan and stuff, and I won't dive into that just simply for spoilers out of respect for the people that's going to watch this later. Get to dive more into that and kind of where she stands and where the Sins stand, and just things along those lines. But I said this last time. Now that I know kind of where, it's only been referenced a couple times. Now that I kind of know where we are in terms of the story with Four Knights of the Apocalypse manga going on, where Camelot is kind of like our antagonist, Arthur's kind of our antagonist, it does bring to light a little bit more for this ending arc here, but it still feels out of place. But I do get why it's here now that I've seen more on Four Knights of the Apocalypse. But it was a fun episode. They did well on the choice of voice for Kath, in this situation, because it was disturbingly good. I did not like it and liked it at the same time.
All right.
Favorite episode of the week. What would you guys say?
I'm going to go with Tokyo.
Respect.
I'm going to go with One Piece just because
respect.
It was very hyped from what we've been getting.
86 still. Man, I love this series so much, and this was such a good episode. Definitely 86 for me. All right, let's wrap up the show beautifully. It didn't go as over as I thought it was going to potentially go once I looked over and saw we had 40 minutes in with just the news. I was like, oh, shit, this might be like an hour and a half. We're not too far in, so that's not bad. So let's go through our chapter ratings for the week. Kicking things off with One Piece 1015. Josh, what would you rate it?
I'll give it an 8.
I give it an 8, and I also want to give a spoiler warning. Every single rating of mine for the Shonen Jump chapters is an 8 except for 2. It was a very this is good stuff week, but nothing blew my underpants off. So just a little spoiler warning there for that.
Alrighty.
My Hero Academia 315.
8.
8.
Yeah, so 8's good on that one.
Black Clover 295.
7.
8.
Now that you said that, I don't remember what happened in Black Clover.
God dang it. I'll give you a hint, Josh. Noelle.
Yeah, Noelle.
Oh yeah. I'll give it a 7.
Dr. Stone.
It obviously wasn't that memorable. I'll give Dr. Stone 7 as well.
7.
I'm still calling bullshit. 6.
This is still you.
What the? No, that's not what the fuck. I understand what's going on. I just call bullshit.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. JJK 151.
9.
Yeah, 9.
Give that one an 8. Yeah, it just didn't blow me away, man. It was good, but it didn't blow me away. Yozakor Family 85. Give it an 8. Undead Unluck 66. Give that one an 8. Mashal 65.
I'm more accepting of this one. I'll give it an 8.
Gave it an 8.
Yeah, it's good on that.
Sakamoto Days 26. I did flirt with this one a little bit. I gave it an 8, but I did flirt with a 9 because how brutal it was. This was a brutal chapter, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was very brutal.
It was brutal. I loved it.
It took me a moment because I was just like, Sakamoto did this, then this, then I went, all right, the organization.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. Love how it ended, though. I really do. Sakamoto falling in. Loved that.
You're going to have to do more than that. Boom. Hey, how's it go? Hey, haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Loved the ending. Elusive Samurai Chapter 19.
I'll give it an 8.
8. ITLC Chapter 18. Oh, I'm the only one reading it. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm not
I was waiting. My bad. I gave it an 8. It was a good chapter. Witch Watch Chapter 17.
Yeah, 7.
8. Ball Parade Chapter 16.
It's dead.
It's dead as hell. This is still a good chapter, though. I gave it an 8 personally. I enjoyed the chapter a lot, but it's dead as hell.
I mean, I only gave it a 6 because I just couldn't get over just
how dead it is.
It's super dead.
Yeah, it's so far into the ground right now.
It skipped a lot.
I still enjoyed it, the chapter, though, personally, so I gave it an 8. Blue Box Chapter 8.
I give it an 8.
I give it an 8, yeah.
His partner's troll as fuck.
Yes, true. Candy Flurry Chapter 7, I gave this one a 7.
7.
Yeah, like I said, this week for Weekly Shonen Jump was just a lot of not this is okay content. It's like, okay, yeah, this is a lot of good content. Just nothing blew me away.
No.
Shit, I just realized I didn't read Kaiju that came out today.
It didn't.
Oh, it didn't? Okay.
It was pictures.
Okay, perfect. Moving on.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tokyo Avengers 209. What would you rate it?
I feel bad. I give it an 8 just because of what's going on, but I'm like, Takamichi, why?
Yeah, I give it an 8 too. Eden Zero 146.
7.
I give this one an 8. Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, Chapter 19. I give that one a 7. Ranger Reject, Chapter 16. Gave that one a 7 as well. Got a High School 518. I gave this one a 7 personally.
I agree with a 7.
Solo Leveling 155.
7.
I give this one an 8, dude. This was a really wholesome chapter, and I was here for it.
It was, but
it was wholesome and funny. It made me laugh. Like when they were on the rides and just had no expression whatsoever. I thought that was funny.
And then him just going out, they're too slow.
Yeah, these rides suck. Do you want to do something else? So I enjoyed that. Weak Hero 141.
7.
I give it an 8. What about El Cid 115? oh man.
I give it an 8. Jai Woo's just adding to his blushing harem.
Okay, all right. What was you guys' favorite chapter of the week?
I would have to give it to Black Clover. No, not Black Clover. No. What am I thinking? JJK.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving mine to JJK as well.
Sakamoto Days. I enjoyed Sakamoto Days a lot.
The goriest chapter.
Yes, dude. It was brutal, man. I'm here for it. It was a good chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. All right, guys. Well, that's got everything on the script today. It was a little bit of a longer episode. We had a lot of stuff in the news to talk about here today, but that's how it goes. But anyway, Josh, it's time. Give me the best speech you can. Motivate the listeners, wherever you are, whoever you are listening to this podcast right now or watching this podcast on Sparky3. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Josh, one of our good friends here, the co-host of this show, is about to deliver the most powerful, inspirational speech you've ever heard in your entire life. This speech is going to make you run through walls. It's going to make you move mountains. It's going to carry you the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your life. So, Josh, hit me with it. What do you got?
Hold on. I got to get to it.
Oh, he actually wrote something
actually,
down.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I actually got something prepared.
Shit!
I gotta get back to it.
Oh shit! Okay,
I don't know where
that's
it's
me
at.
right now.
I can't find it.
Well, he's got something, but he didn't have it on his.
Oh,
clip
here we
bar.
go.
Okay, here we go.
No, it's right here.
Oh, here we go.
In the name of gain and profit for one's nation and village, Shinobi have hated and hurt each other for many years.
I mean, I
You know
can't
where I'm going with
understand what you're saying because you're laughing too hard during it. So your big old plan of a joke here, it's flopping. This is just
Yeah, no, it's flopping. It was Gaara's speech from Naruto. I googled it.
Oh, before the war started.
Yeah,
Well, that does not make me want to run through a wall. You got anything else?
no, I don't.
Just throw something out there right now. Just throw something out there.
Man, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Like and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that junk. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Where's the wall for me to run through? No, that sucked. You're going to have to do a follow-up next week.
I won't, but okay, thanks.
All right. Well, anyway, Zach, you got anything you want to say to finish off the show here?
I mean, follow, comment, star, whatever your platform allows. If you're on YouTube, hit that dislike for every
Hell yeah.
moment where Josh disappointed us with his
Hell
speech.
yeah.
Make this the worst video with the most dislikes as possible because that speech was awful.
Please.
Yeah, no, just because of how bad that hit that unsubscribe, unclick that bell.
Yeah, just get out of here. It's all right. We don't
Josh has
blame
just
you.
killed the series. This may be the last episode you ever
stinks.
hear. But yeah,
Who
I hope
listens
you
to
have
this
a
show?
good day after watching this and hearing that awful speech. So bye.
All right. Yep, that's going to do it. Josh, thanks for your disappointment. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We appreciate your
That's what I'm here
disappointment.
for.
No, really,
Here
though,
at this point.
do something for us. Like it, dislike it, subscribe, don't subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, whatever. We'll keep doing our thing, maybe. This show stinks. We don't know why you listen, but we appreciate that you do. Hopefully you have a great day, everyone. Have a good one. See you next time.
Bye.